Well everyone, it's time for us to go ahead and take a look at the iPhone 8 Plus and see how this phone holds up in the later part of 2022. Now, so many things have changed with this iPhone throughout the last 4 or 5 months since my mid-year review of this thing. And what's very crazy is that this phone, in a lot of different ways, sits at a very interesting position. It's definitely not the first iPhone I would recommend to people, but because now it is the lowest supported iPhone on iOS, it sits at a very interesting spot. On one hand, I probably wouldn't recommend anyone buying it, but on the other hand, if you currently are using this phone, then quite potentially, you could probably get another year out of it and then go and upgrade to a used iPhone 14 Pro or a used iPhone 12 Pro or whatever in a year from now and be in a really good spot as well. So first of all, I want to say some major things that have changed. One, iOS 16 officially came out. I installed every beta version of that software on this phone, and it was a very interesting experience. It definitely wasn't that great first of all, but it did get better throughout time. So that was a really good thing that I looked forward to with this device. So that in and of itself was really cool. Now on top of that, another really cool thing with this device was honestly the futurability of it. It lasted for a pretty long amount of time, and if it does get iOS 17, I'm probably going to be even more happier than if the iPhone 7 Plus got iOS 17. So hopefully this iPhone supports, a little bit longer than normal. Now another thing is with the iOS 16 update, it didn't get every feature within iOS 16, but it did get some of them, which is always nice. So we did get some new UI changes and everything. So that in and of itself is another really cool thing. And all over, kind of to wrap that specific portion up, I think it's a really good thing this iPhone is still supported with software. Now, with the next iPhones that came out, the iPhone 14s, this was another really big change. With those iPhones, we kind of saw the, iPhone 8 Plus price tag that used to be $499. That has now gone out the window. That is no longer being supported anymore. So that iPhone at $499 is now gone, which used to be held by the iPhone 8 Plus at one point, which was cool. Now, with the bigger thing, in question, at least in my head, is when I compared it to the iPhone 14s, I was actually pretty surprised to see how well, again, this iPhone held up against those devices. You wouldn't really think an iPhone like the iPhone 8 Plus is still even kind of relevant or still kind of powerful, but that is not the case. The iPhone 8 Plus is still a pretty powerful phone. Definitely it's not the most powerful phone of all time, but it still gets the job done for the most part. And I do think that in and of itself is a really cool thing that this iPhone actually has going for it as well. Now, if we're going to compare this iPhone against pretty much every single other thing going on with, iPhones in general, it's definitely not going to be the best performing iPhone. It's not going to be giving the best battery life, but for its price tag, which you can probably buy this thing for less than $150 right now, it is sitting at a very interesting spot where it might not be worth it that much. And honestly, I just think it's at a very interesting spot where it probably shouldn't be the first iPhone you should buy. I think an iPhone 10 would be a way better choice than this thing. Even though the iPhone 10 is, pretty much the same thing internally as this thing, you're going to be getting a way longer lasting phone from a device like that than from a device like this. So when it comes down to it, I think the iPhone 8 Plus is definitely a very interesting phone. It's probably not worth it to buy anymore, but it still sits at a very interesting spot. And that's kind of how, kind of covers up in the late part of 2022. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that'll mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.